Now the ultimate torture test. Brian with Fiery Squirrel here in Myers Woodshop. Today we're gonna do something a little bit more practical. I've got a Fokoos FE20. Fokoos. It's a Chinese name. No one knows how to say it. We're gonna do a quick, hopefully quick assembly on this thing. It is billed as a 20-watt shop laser. Probably the actual output is gonna be much lower than that. I have never actually put one of these together by myself. I'm used to the 100-watt Eon Mira 9 Beast, but I do love lasers a whole lot, so I'm gonna see, despite my ADHD and novice state, if I can put this thing together and we'll see what we get. All right, we've got a small user manual, pair of safety glasses, tools and accessory box. Looks like we've got some extra belts, whatever that is, and some hand tools. Power adapter. Here is the laser head itself. It is sealed up tight. Here is the board with the power switch. Some of the rails, stepper motors attached. Seems to be gliding smoothly. And lots of extruded railing. All right, let's start building. Okay, that took me about an hour and a half total, maybe. The wiring, which is the part that always freaks me out, was very simple. A couple of tools I found helpful were little snippers for the zip ties, pair of needle nose pliers to torque the belts out the way they needed to be tightened, and just a knife to kind of maneuver the belts down in the trenches of the extruded rails. Another thing that the directions did not quite make clear was this stop block. This stop block goes on the front end, right behind the control switch, the power switch. That's so that this limit switch has an actual barrier to hit when it comes forward all the way. But we are going to plug this thing in, wire it to my computer. I'll be using Lightburn. Let's see how it does some engraving. All right, we are plugged in. Here is the power cable. Here is the USB to my computer. Switched it on. We have a heartbeat. I started up Lightburn. Here's what I did so far. Go to Devices and had it search for the connected device, and it found it very easily. It's called Gerbil. We're gonna click Add Device. I will absolutely call it Gerbil Fokoos FE20. Dimensions of the work area. Let's double check those before we hit next. All right, work area is confirmed. Click Next. And now it's gonna ask about the origin for the laser. I'm gonna go with rear right. All right, let's finish it. It's added to my devices now. So it just homed itself. I think it thinks that this is the right rear, opposite of what I was thinking it was. Guess we'll find out. All right, here's the setup, and I can confirm that this is what it thinks is rear right. Over here, this is the rear right for some reason by default, right behind the actual switch, because when I choose to frame this thing, it's framing it right there. I have speed set to 20, power set to 80. Let's see what happens. That was 20 millimeters a second at 80% power, and you can see it appears to be a little bit out of focus. So I'm going to try to focus the lens, which will be right under here. This is the focus knob. All right, manual says the effect is best when the laser is 3 to 5 centimeters away from the object to be engraved. Also, the smaller the focus, the better the engraving effect, the better the engraving effect. Well, that's good to know. Okay, so I've lifted this thing up on some MDF blocks. It's about 4.5 centimeters from the laser. Let's see what happens. So here's our second attempt. We're just going to experiment for a while, but that looks pretty good for the second try. All right, I gave the laser focuser like a quarter turn. That top full circle is 80%, 20 millimeters a second, 3 passes, did not go through. But when I slowed it down to 5 millimeters a second with 3 passes, you can see it's coming off. So it has carved through pretty cleanly, not quite all the way. This thin, I don't know what this is, 16th inch, so maybe like 2 millimeter plywood. Here's the result of the, what is this made out of? Cork. Cork. The cork coaster engraving. Contrast is good, the lines are good. Registering alignment, that's gonna be the challenge here. Obviously I was quite a ways off, and the charring is kind of significant, so probably used a little too much power for this, but it's definitely gonna do very well on this material. Well, that looks pretty good. Image is pretty clear on there. Wow, that thing is going to town. All right, let's see what I got. Engraving is good, but the cut, not quite. That was at 6 passes, and it is not gonna cut through there. Also, I figured out 70 millimeters a second, probably a little too fast. If you can notice, it did throw off the engraving in a couple of places. So I probably overclocked it a little too far. 70 millimeters a second, probably a bit too fast for this thing. But the engraving on the plywood is really nice. All right, so here's a quick recap of what we've got. We have really good results engraving on plywood. We have decent results actually cutting what appears to be 16th inch plywood. That was cut right there with, I think, 3 passes. Probably won't cut 1/8 inch plywood, only engrave. Cork and I'm guessing cardboard are gonna do really well. And this, the hardback material on my sketchbook seems to have gone quite well. Probably would look better if it wasn't black, just because the contrast has a chance to shine out. And that's the wrap up for the Fokoos FE20 laser engraver. We're gonna give away one of these that's brand new, unboxed. This one's mine. We're gonna give away another one. Look for me on Instagram at Fiery Squirrel Art, and along with Myers Woodshop, at Myers Woodshop. Thanks for watching.